Good evening everybody, Tiger here from RWB International and welcome to round 4 of the World Touring Cars and the GT4 series, the last race of the 4 rounds, and we're at Zolder in Belgium. As usual, I've got my indomitable friend with me, our resident alien, Speed. How are you, Speed?
I'm good, pal. How's yourself tonight?
Very, very good. Actually, that's a lie. I'm knackered, Speed. I've been in the garden all day, and all I've done is build a wooden box for my logs. And anyone would have thought I'd built Windsor Castle. It's over-engineered and it's taken me far too long. So I'm absolutely cream crackered, to be frank. That aside, on to more interesting things. Round 4. This is the final round. We're at Zolder in Belgium. A little bit about the track before we speak to Speed about an update, etc., on where we are with the scores on the doors for the tournament and some things we'll be looking out for in this race. So, just as a reminder, then, Zolder is in the Limburg province near Hasselt in Belgium. This is the GP circuit, 2.5 miles, 4 kilometres. It's got 16 corners in total, 6 left, 10 right. Unusually, this has got 4 chicanes, one of which is an extended chicane, which is the Jochen Rindt bend. And it has also got 12 named places, and during qualifying, Speed will take us around, and then we'll have another lap afterwards, and I'll just give you a heads up on what those corners are, and of course we'll be calling those out during the race. This is Belgium's national circuit. It's the brother, really, the little brother to, of course, the infamous Spa-Francorchamps. Yeah, and it does all sorts of series here: DTM, GT, 24 hours older, trucks, cycling, you name it. Most of you out there be familiar with Zolder. It's a favourite track of many. It's a bit of a Marmite track, particularly that first corner there catches a lot of people out. It's got a sort of late apex, but Speed will talk to us about that as he goes round. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to say about the track at the minute, and undoubtedly things will drop in as we go through the stream. With 11 minutes and 14 seconds of qualifying remaining, really, Speed, I'd like to ask you, what's your perception of the situation with regards to the scores? Because, of course, this is a multi-class, World Touring Cars and GT4. So my first question to you is, what are the current standings for both of those classes in first, second and third? And secondly, what class is going to be more favourable around this particular circuit?
Well, I don't think we're actually running separate, classes. I think it's just, obviously, it's an overall, so it doesn't matter which car you was in. It's an overall championship, because you have to race both cars. But I think the congratulation goes out to Lorenzo tonight, because he's not here, but he effectively won the championship by winning the 3 races beforehand. There's no one that can eclipse him. There's a good battle for second going on. You've got Rigel currently on 82, Beans on 77, Audi and Evil tied on 76, and obviously the only person that seemed to have a bad result there is Bean, where he had a 17-point finish in the first race, so he could really capitalise on a good race tonight. Other than that, it's pretty close throughout the field. Like the 6th to 10th really close. You got Madley, Binnersley on 68. You got Gabsy Fergie on 66. You got Thierry and Dave on 59. You got FX on 54. H-Tune on 47. Ben Davis on 46. Rodders on 45. So it's really close throughout the field. Obviously, Lorenzo's got a 16-point lead, and I don't think anyone could beat him, because he won 3 races. So
yeah,
there's no way anyone's going to beat him. So it's a good congratulations to him. Shame he's going to miss it. I think he's turning up late or something, so he might be popping into chat. Maybe get a few words from him at the end if he pops in Discord. As he'll be the effective championship winner.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. And he's a really nice guy, isn't he? I mean, we've had the opportunity to speak to him a couple of times, and he's been really, really fast out there. And I can tell you right now, well, you know, but I mean anyone who's watching, that everyone who's usually in the top sort of quadrants have absolutely thoroughly enjoyed racing with him. You know, I know that's the case with Rodders, certainly on the first race there at Zandvoort, and of course Rigel. And you know, a few other guys have really enjoyed racing with him. A very talented sim racer, and we certainly hope to see him back on other leagues. So very well done, Lorenzo. You know, it's been great to host you and great to see you out there. You've really brought a different category, I think, a different category of racing to the league, and that was, I'm afraid, fairly lonely for you out there. But well, we've got other leagues coming up, and yeah, as I said, the door is always open to you. We've got 20 runners tonight, Speed, and I believe we've got a couple of guests out there tonight. So a shout out to Darren King, Dorking, who's a guest tonight and has been invited in for the last round, which is great. And you can see Darren up at the top there with a 1:37.715. So I mean, he's quick, isn't he? Do you know Darren?
Yes, I know Darren. I've raced with him in the AOR League and talked to him quite a bit about sim racing in general. He's a good chap, very quick, and obviously he's popping back into RWB after focusing more on the other leagues within the community. So
Awesome.
See him back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great. And the other one is Enrique Munoz. Forgive me, Enrique, if I pronounce that wrong. I think Enrique is from Spain, and I believe he's a guest tonight. I don't think we've seen Enrique before.
No, I've never seen him or heard him. If he runs under a different name, he's not said anything to us. So, yeah, complete new guy tonight. He's doing the old, coming and racing with us. Race fair, race clean, the RWB way. So,
yep, absolutely.
Looks like he's going to have a good battle in that mid pack. There's a couple in front of him that are on the same pace, and a couple behind him that are on the same pace. So, he should have a fun battle.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it's just slotting nicely.
We're currently riding with Charger. Gives a number between 1 and 20 speed.
14.
Number 14. So number 14 is Rick Binnersley. Have we been round with Rick Binnersley before?
Yeah, I think we did that one.
Let's have another number then.
Whoa. 8. We'll go with FX.
Number 8.
Oh, it's Madley. It's Madley now.
Madley. So we're going to ride with Madley. Madley's just coming around the Sterrenwacht bend and into the Canal bend. We'll let him run round to do a complete lap. Hopefully he's got enough time to do another lap, and then perhaps if you talk us around through that, and I'll use this opportunity, Speed, to tell you what these corners are.
Or maybe he can give us an idea of some of the corners whilst he's going around, to start his lap.
Yeah. So we've just gone through the Klein chicane there, and this is the Sacrament Schelling hill. And then into this is named after that particular chicane there was named after Gilles Villeneuve. Actually, he was killed in 1982 during qualifying. Very sad. So that's known as Villeneuve chicane. Round the Boulderberg bend and into Jochenrindt, which is an extended chicane. And then down this little straight here into Jackie X bend, which is also a chicane. And then onto the main straight. Speed, you're free to pick it up from there and take us around. Give us your thoughts on the position of the car around the track, etc. Over to you.
Yeah, so you're coming up on the finish line, get close as you can to this pit wall, spot your braking point, turn in. You usually want to go for an early apex because for some reason the car just washes out. I don't know if it's the undulations in the track, but you have to really be careful that you don't go into the gravel. Same into this second corner. It's like a reverse, like all the corners are set up reverse in this first sector, so you're always in apex is late, really fast straight on, this right hander onto the back straight, careful not to go into that gravel because it will slow you down. Go up to chicane. Again, look for your 100 boards, you know, down to second, you know. Be aggressive on the curb on the left. It's not as harsh on you as the curb on the right. Come over this crest, a simple, you know, long sweeping left hand, but keep the car over to the left, get your braking line as straight as possible into this chill on chicane. You know, try to take as much curbing as you can without getting a penalty. Simple, you know, accelerate through this right hander up over the crest, over this left hander, again braking in a straight line for this hairpin. Really awkward. I think it's a bit off camber, so you tend to wash out a bit. You know, focus on accelerating, not getting too much wheel spin with these front wheel drive cars. And then down into this Jackie chicane, same again, 100 board. You know, get your car down, get as much, be aggressive with that curb on the left, not so much with this curb on the right because you wanted to get the drive out. And then that's a lap of Zolder. I forgot what track we're on then.
Awesome, and that's put Madley in 5th position. Excellent. Into this first corner is the Erst corner, and then down to that corner right in front of us there, which is the Sterren Whacked bend. And then it's sort of almost like a double apex, this double apex here, the Canal bend, and then along this straight to the Lucien Bianchi bend. What a beautiful name that is, Lucien Bianchi. Wow. Now we're down this straight here into the Klein chicane. Always catches me this, always catches me. And then up the hill, bit of a left-hander, down the hill again and towards Villeneuve chicane. Then around this right-hander is known as the Terlammen bend, and then up the hill, over a little bit of a bridge, down the hill towards the Boulderberg bend. Through the Jockenrint bend, which is that extended chicane there, down this straight here towards the towards the Jackie X, the Jackie X bend, which is another chicane. Bloody hell's fire! Good grief! Now look, couple of things. Okay.
He's got Yaki on the mind, so don't mind him.
Bloody Yaki. Now, a couple of things. Speed. On Thursday, I blasphemed a hell of a lot out there, and I brought the commentator's curse to many people. I hope that doesn't happen tonight. But if I commentate curse people tonight, I may slip out the odd swear word. I love commentating. I love watching RWB race on the league racing. So that's a warning for anyone in Vance. Okay, I don't want you starting sending the social services round because I've let out a swear word. I will try not to, but if it comes out, it comes out. This is RWB, not BBC. That's the first one. Second one, of course, is we have to give a shout out to Paddy, who stood in for me last Saturday. I've watched the stream, done a fantastic job. I'll ignore what he and you said about me, Speed, but seeing as you're an alien and Paddy's far better than me, you're of course welcome to do that. But I thought he'd done a fantastic job. It's not easy doing this, is it? Commentating?
No, especially at the last minute, me forgetting my mother was coming to visit on the Friday and basically leaving with no backup on the Saturday for the race. So he did a very good job in qualifying and that to, you know, cover without being on his own, and obviously I joined him for the race. He did an excellent job. Yeah,
he bloody well did. So on behalf of everyone from RWB, especially the guys that are in the league, Paddy, thank you very much for standing. You've done a great job. And for those of you who watch the streams, look out for more of Paddy and of Al, Ben Davis, and of Jammer, and a couple of other guys who are interested in helping me and Speed out in the future. So really important to us we share the love and give these our members and our RWB brothers the opportunity for a bit of verbal self-expression when it comes to commentating. So look out for those guys. And anyone else is interested, drop me a line on Discord, and look out over the next couple of weeks with some sort of semi-formalized introduction to how we do our commentary. Sort of formal intro, formal outro, but bottom line is you can pretty much say what you see when you're commentating, and bring your own flair to it, whatever that may be. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Oh dear, Rodder's beautiful 360. Thank you for that. Speed, if you were racing in this league, what car would you favour around Zolder? GT4 or touring car?
I think the touring car. We had this discussion. I think it was midweek about where the tracks have lined out for this series. So it seemed to be the first track at Zandvoort favoured the TCR cars, and the middle two with Imola and Silverstone favoured the GT4 cars, and obviously this one seems to favour the TCR car. So it's been quite a good split over the season. So yeah, I think I'd be in the TCR car as it's the favourite.
Very interesting. Yes. Well, the touring cars pretty much ran away with it, didn't they? At Zandvoort, no question about that. But I thought it had flipped a bit at round two. Now, round two, remind me, was at Silverstone. Imola, sorry, yeah. Touring cars ran away with it there. But at Silverstone, I thought it was very much a GT4 race.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said the middle two were GT4 and the ends were TCRs.
Right, sorry. I'll get back in my car. We're not live yet.
Are you put your hearing aid in?
Are we live yet? We're not live yet, are we?
No, we're not live. This is just a practice run. We go live in a minute 30.
Looking good for good things from Evil tonight. 1 minute 48 left of warm up. Evil, I mean, look at that field out there. We've got Evil, we got Rodders, we got Gabsy, we got Madley, we got Mark Bean, we got Binnersley, we got Audi, we got Rigel. There's some quick people out there tonight. This would be a really interesting race. Of course, there is a pit stop. 4 tyres must be changed. The setups, by the way, they're all default, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, default. But we're actually running tyre and fuel wear in this league. Not like the mini league where it's all turned off. So it is, they have to set the fuel low for the race. Obviously, the TCR cars should make it without taking fuel in the pit stops, but the GT4 cars are unlucky. They have to take a quick splash of fuel. So in theory, it makes their pit stops 10 seconds longer than the TCR cars. But if you get someone quick in the GT4 cars, they could be a spoiler.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Great then. 32 seconds left of the warm up before we start the race. I think there's usually about 30 seconds to get on the track, but I'm really looking forward. This has been a great league. This has been a really, really good league. What's next on the RWB agenda? I think it's the X17 league, isn't it, Speed?
Yeah, it's Rodders' 10-week F17 league.
Yeah, and there's a couple of practice sessions, and there's already been one practice session, I think there's another one due, etc. And you know what? If you want some first class coaching, lean forward to Speed and get in touch with him and ask him, because no one has yet. And that, in my view, is like having a girlfriend and not taking her out. Why would you do having a girlfriend and putting her in a glass box? For the love of God.
Well, that's what I don't understand. I'm a cheap night out.
You're a dirty cheap not out.
Yeah, give me a rack of ribs and a few beers, and I'm yours.
As they get on the track, they got 36 seconds now. Remember, when the timing board comes up on the left-hand side with their names, 20 runners, that's when they're all on. The red lights will flash, and when they go green, away they go into the first corner, the left-hander, Erst. As the red lights are now flashing, looking at Rigel. Looking at Rigel with Darren King in first, and they're away. And we can see there that Darren in the VW has held his first position there. Rodders has slipped into second, Rigel into third, around Erst into the semi sort of mini straight down to the Sterrenwacht bend, through the Sterrenwacht bend, through Canal, up to Lucien Bianchi bend, and then along the back straight towards Klein chicane. I think they all got through, didn't they, Speed?
I don't know. I think Beans has dropped down.
Great sight that. Down towards the Klein chicane. Yeah, I think they all got through. Riding with 10 pin, looking at pinpoint. Up now towards the Sacrament. Incidentally, the Klein chicane speed was put in to slow down Formula One cars in the 70s. It used to be from Lucien Bianchi all the way up to the Villeneuve chicane. This one we've just gone through there was one long sweeping left-hander. Imagine the speeds that you could crank up there, and then at the end of it you've got a bloody chicane. No wonder, Gilles Villeneuve sadly was killed.
Yeah, as we suspected, the Rodders and Elkin battle is a bit like the Lorenzo Rodders battle of the round one.
Yep, and Rodders has now taken first place, looking back to Darren King. Darren King looking back to Rigel. Rigel looking back to Justin Madley. Madley looking back to Evil. Evil looking back to Dave Crew. Dave Crew looking back. Dave Crew looking back to Gabsy. Gabsy had has had a couple of good races in that RS, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a good couple of races in this league. Obviously, he was a bit downhearted after the GT3 league.
Yeah.
And obviously decided to do this 4-week mini series, and seemed to regain some spirit. He's got his spirit back for racing.
Well, he's certainly part of that front group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 8 in the first sort of group there, I'd say. Remember, of course, guys, there's two classes: World Touring cars and the GT4s. And this first group there is certainly World Touring cars. But I think on the grid, are the World Touring cars not trying to be grouped together, irrelevant of qualifying? The qualifying being class specific.
Yeah, the grid's set up so the TCR cars are in front of the GT4 cars, no matter of the qualifying time.
Yeah.
Just the way that race room does its multi-class grid. We'd have liked it to be where you just gone on pure qualifying times, but it just doesn't seem to do that. So it's a shame, but it's a limitation, not our doing.
Rodders now just crossing the line for what is his completion of lap 3 in a 1:38.543. Darren in second place, 1:39.537. Then Rigel, 1:39.750. And then Justin Madley in a 1:39.929. 1:38.543. He's on there, isn't he, Rodders? He's had his haggis. He's had his half a bottle of Buckfast. He's put his kilt on and he is going some.
Yep, I think he played the bagpipes just before the start of the races.
Last of the Mohicans, yeah. King's Royal Dragoon Guards, fantastic. He played it, put the kilt on, made sure his sporran was, took his pants off, made sure his sporran was level, had his half a bottle of Buckfast and away he goes, 1:38.5. Yeah, sometimes it can be lonely at the front there, and actually on one of the Thursday nights, I think it was the last Thursday, with the Quattros, I think it was at Sonoma Raceway, and Rodders had an off and ended up going last, and had to fight his way through the field in what was an 8-minute race and finished, I believe, in 7th. Just after I said, forget it, you're not going to be able to because you ain't got time, but and just as much fun fighting through that through the field to gain some positions, as he did actually, as he usually is, leading out the front. That's of course all the time you're not there, Speed, which is of course, just a reminder everyone, one of the reasons why Speed is part of the commentary team, is to allow other members to enjoy being in the front quadrants. It must be sometimes difficult for you, Speed. You are naturally very talented and very quick out there, and I know Rodders and Rigel and Audi sometimes brings it to you, but more often than not, you don't see much out from your front windscreen, do you?
No, not really, but it's one of them that I do try to help, everyone out in the club. And my choice for this season for the F16 is to step back. Give other people a helping hand. I may drop in for one of the two FX17 races. If I feel spirited enough to have a race, but other than that, I'm quite comfortable being in the commentary box at the minute. It's giving me a new lease on sim racing.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job, mate, and it's fantastic for me to be able to spend some. God, I keep saying fantastic a lot. I sound so bloody sycophantic. It's all hyperbole. It's a privilege, old boy, to have you in here with me and chat about the races, etc. And it's to your credit that you've taken that sort of step, not back but sideways, I'd like to think. And a reminder to RWB members, Speed is here to help. So if you don't lean forward to him, then you're missing a trick. Look out for the training academies. There'll be some information posted in Discord about that soon. But back to the race. We're riding with Dave Crew, looking at Madley. Dave Crew in the Cupra, Madley in the Cupra. So fairly well matched. Now looking back from Dave Crew, we can see Gabsy there in that Audi in the RS3 Quattro, which isn't, because it's only two-wheel drive, because that's the rules. No Audi should be two-wheel drive, in my view. But there we go. Now, if that man there, Gabsy, can get it sideways, he will. Can't help it. That's in his blood. Looking back from Gabsy, we can see 10-pin, and behind 10-pin, there's now starting to see a bit of a gap there, Speed, because if we're riding with Pinpoint now, Pinpoint currently in 9th. That's a good position. And if we stay on the grey stuff, and you'll certainly finish in the top quadrants, I'd like to think. Audi down in 10th position, now taking a look at Pinpoint, as we just see Audi in the GT4 there, Speed, coming into the Villeneuve, coming into the Klein. Yeah, it is, beg your pardon. Into Villeneuve. He took the touring car in Villeneuve, didn't he?
Yeah, Audi's the first of the GT4 runners at the minute. Obviously started way behind a huge pack of, I would like to say, 17 touring cars.
Yeah.
And he's up to 9, so he's doing a good job, making his through. I feel like he's got a few more positions. Maybe gets to Gabsy.
Now look at this. Sorry, Spee, I was just saying, look at this, touring car orgy going on here with a Lotus in the back there, scratching around for a sort of rear entry into all four of them. We're currently looking at Jammer, but looking at Charger leading that group of four there in the Audi. Someone's just gone off there. I think that was Jammer who went off, but no, it wasn't Jammer. Beg your pardon. I think it was Bean actually. H-Tune, yeah. On the wing with Charger, he's just lost that position there. Jammer's just taken him on the inside, but I think Charger's just managed to keep it. Jammer in the yellow and black Audi, as we can see there. Much prefer this layout.
Yeah, there's also FX in there in the Lotus, in the GT4 car as well. Mixing it up. Then you've got Flack just in front of Charger in the other GT4 car. So there's only 3 GT4 cars out here tonight, and they're all Lotuses.
Yeah. Well, that's telling, isn't it, from the testing during the week, etc. Great view from great view from FX here. Currently running 3rd in the GT4 class, with Flack in 11th and Audi currently in 9th. But FX just zipping through Villeneuve there. Only has to be one mistake there, and he'll just zip through. That's one of the benefits of letting other people fight in front of you. But that said, H-Tune, H-Tune there in the Cupra, the green and the Kawasaki colours, as the boys just go around Boulderberg and in through Jochenrindt Bend and down this straight now to the Yaki X chicane. FX just closed up there, I think, on Mark Bean.
Yeah, it's a bit of a freight train going on. I mean, I think FX has got a bit more pace in them, but just seems to be getting held up on the straights. You know, he's obviously not getting a good run out of the corners at the minute. You know, WTCR cars are mega under braking, as you saw when we were on the rear of, FX. So how much H-Tune caught up on the brakes into the Zolder hairpin.
Yes. Now riding with Cos has got a lot of space. He's got a 10.5 seconds in front of him to H-Tune. But behind Cos is only 1.2 seconds is Enrique, our guest in the blue-winged Audi RS3. And I think Speed, we've already had two retirements. Rick Binnersley is retired, and it looks like Fergie is retired as well. Which is a shame, so shout out to those. Back to the race, however. Evil now, we can see leading that group of 3 with Darren King and Justin Madley. Looking back from Evil in the middle, sorry. Looking back from Rigel, we can see Evil in the blue-winged Audi RS3, and behind Evil we can see Darren King. Now Darren King was running second position behind Rodders. Rodders currently way out there, and he's got some space behind him of 8.3 seconds.
Yeah, he's pulled the proverbial pin and gone.
Isn't he? I think I'll wear a kilt and put a sporran on and do a bit of Scottish dancing, do the bagpipes, drink half a bottle of Buckfast, and then get in the car. Might be quicker. Bloody hell, 8.5 seconds. But don't rest on any laurels, Rodders, as I know you don't anyway, because behind you is Chief Trackmaster, and he's already gained now half a second. So we'll keep a close eye on that. But I think it's fair to say Rodders is going to see some of that for a while. Oh dear, maybe not that, but certainly that what he's seeing, which is an empty track. Evil and Rigel there. Rigel in the yellow Audi and Evil in the blue Audi. These two are having some fun, aren't they?
Yeah, this is a spirited drive from Evil. Obviously decided to quit smoking recently, so it'll be an angry drive from him. You know, all that nicotine coming out of his system.
It'll be adorning pentagrams, pentagons, goats' heads and everything else, and start praying to Satan himself, Resident Evil. Very talented sim racer and a thoroughly nice chap, as all these guys are in RWB. If you're watching this, and I'm going to flip the camera.
Set from Charger.
Look at these guys here. Look at these guys here. Now Flack is holding Charger, Jammer, Bean and FX in that group.
It's definitely a good orgy going on there.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting. Yeah, Flack. Behind Flack, you've got Charger, then Jammer, and then Mark Bean and FX. Very interesting, seeing them come 3 wide down into Erst corner, down that sort of mini straight there, down towards the Sterrenwacht bend. I think there's a few changes there. So looks like Jammer looked at taking the inside with Mark Bean in the green and black Cupra. But Flack is doing his. He's holding his. I don't think he's holding them up. I mean, Charger is looking on the inside there. But I don't think he's holding them up, and you know what? It's his right. He can race as fast as he like. If you're faster than him, get around him. If not, then well, you're not faster than him, are you?
He's not going to win. That's not ending well. Three wide into that chicane. I
think Jammer just took Charger then, and Mark Bean took Charger as well. Charger on the inside though, coming into Villeneuve, perhaps he might be able to claw some back. A bit of a door scrape there to FX, but Charger then giving up the positions to Bean in front of him and Jammer, but can't take it away from Flack 9. You know, Flack is still holding that position there, but Jammer looking on the Jammer right on his tail and riding with Jammer there, just coming around the Boulderberg and through the Jochen Rindt chicane, the extended chicane, down this straight towards the Yaki X. Look at that Audi pull away. That GT4, sorry, has it got better legs around here, Speed?
Yeah, it's got better legs, as you can see in the corners and on the braking. It just loses out to the TCR cars.
You can see the Lotus there just pulling away, and I think Audi is retired. I think
he's in the pits.
No, he's in the pits. Audi's in the pits. Thank God for that. I thought he had retired. So Audi then, the first to pit. A good strategy, I think, for Audi.
I think it was
now because
I was just going to say, I think it was necessary because he had 100% aero, so I think he may have just, spun and clipped the wall on that last lap. And lucky enough, this was the time where the pit window opened. So I don't think he's lost too much. He'll obviously lose, 10-15 seconds doing the repair in the garage, but he'll make that back up in not losing it out on track.
Yeah, it's a good point. But good point. Damage is on, isn't it? Default setups, damage is on. Flag rules are in place, and well, you know what? Hold your nerve, Audi. Stay on the green stuff. Everyone else has got a pit in front of you. Just do your quick, fast times, as I know you do, and I'm willing to bet that you'll finish around about 11th. That's what I think. Pinpoint, it seems, has also retired. Speed. Pinpoint has retired, so we've got three.
His desk and chair couldn't handle his new direct drive wheel.
Turn the bloody power down then, or get a new desk, or actually get rid of the desk and go and get a proper setup for it. That's a shame. That's a shame. Turn the power down, Pinners. I wanted to see you up there. It's a shame to see you retire through equipment. Rather than a problem out there on the track. Rick Binnersley is also retired, and of course Fergie. Three really great racers there, retired. Back to the race. We're watching Evil now, chasing Rigel. They've been going now for 2 laps like this. This is close racing. This. I was going to ask a stupid question then. No question stupid, but maybe you can give some advice here. How is it possible to race as close as Evil and CSAM, you, and Rodders, and a few of the other guys who race very, very closely? How is it possible to race that close and not just ram up the backside of the person in front of you?
It's a lot of practice, but obviously, when you're in this situation where you're right up his arse, you can see that Evil's not directly behind him. He's like slightly offset, so you can still see his braking marker cues and stuff like that. So it's all about instead of being right up their arse, sniffing what they had for dinner, you basically just offset yourself a bit. You're still getting a slipstream, but you can still see the brake markers and turning points and stuff like that, so you can race really close.
Well, that's a great top tip. So top tip is, when you're close to somebody, don't be smack bang behind them, because all you can see is their back bloody window. That's not going to help. Just be offset left or right, depending on what corner is coming up, etc. You still get your slipstream, like Speed says. Oh, hold it together, Evil. You still get the slipstream. You still get the slipstream, and you're able to position yourself. Oh, that's a shame. I don't think that was intentional. I'd like to think that Evil's going to hold that, but I don't think he will. He hasn't. What do you think of that, Speed?
I was looking at the other monitor.
Okay, so Evil then. Okay, so Rigel is now down into 5th position. So we saw that. So as they came into the Gilles Villeneuve chicane, Evil was on the inside, a little bit too fast, braked, lost a bit of control, hit Rigel. Rigel came off. Evil obviously probably didn't want to hang around and lose the position completely because of the group behind him, and so carried on. By the time Rigel rejoined the track, he's in amongst the fight with Madley and Gabsy. So I don't, I'd like to think that Rigel wouldn't petition that. Perhaps I don't think it was done on purpose, but there you go. That's racing. Sometimes it happens, but very clearly that man wanted second position. Right behind him now is Darren King, I think that was a racing incident. But actually, I think if that was in real life, I think there'd be a petition going.
Obviously, there could have been communication gone all over Discord, but it did see. I did catch the end of it. It did seem that Evil was waiting, and then went. So I wonder if Ryder just told him to carry on.
Yeah, very likely.
Maybe it was a 50-50, and Ryder just said, "Yeah, just carry on, mate. It was nothing we could have done. It was racing incident, so just carry on."
Yeah. Well, fair play, John and Rigel, chief track master, and I know that you're going to enjoy that battle with that man in front of you there, Gabsy. Shame. Anyway, so let's have a recap. So currently, Rodders out there with a 15-second lead to Evil. Rodders now coming across the line. Let's see what his lap time is. His last lap was a 1:38.7. This lap is a 1:39.284. Are his tyres going off, do you think?
No, I just think that's general wear.
Yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't need to be pushing to the maximum at the minute. Obviously, earlier on in the race where he had the 8-second leads, the group of Darren, Rigel, and Evil were lapping 2 to 3 tenths quicker than him at that point in time. But obviously, he just kept his pace, and obviously them three have had the incidents, and we saw Darren go off into the Baldock chicane, the Baldock hairpin.
Yeah.
Just before the Yockham chicane, and obviously an Evil and Rigel had their incident, so he's gained time. He just needs to keep it consistent. At the minute, he's only 7-8 tenths off what he was off his best lap, which is probably natural tyre wear progression. Because it looks like Darren's having a lot of issues with the tyre wear. Maybe he's just been focusing on one lap pace. Because he did have a half second qualifying over Rodders, but it just seemed to be losing it now. So maybe not focused as much on the racing side of the race.
Yeah, and that group has certainly caught up, from second place Darren King. Clearly he took Evil earlier on, so Evil obviously had a problem there. And we've just seen Gabsy there take Evil. I think Evil has allowed them to pass on the outside there, whilst he stayed on the inside. It didn't look like his move was going defensive. I think Evil has got a problem with either his tyres and I think he'll come into pit. That's what I think. No, he's not.
Or he could have just been pulling up. Obviously, Rigel regained himself, and they've caught back up. And obviously, I think Evil's just pulled over and dropped him behind Rigel.
Very good point. Very, very good point. And I think that was undoubtedly the case. So good for him. Gabsy then. Gabsy now in second place. Come on, Gabsy, put your foot down, old boy. You've got 20 seconds to catch up, Rodders. Be very careful though, because behind you is Rigel, and behind Rigel is Darren King, running really close to Rigel. Running really close to Rigel. There we go. We can see that. I mean, he was really close there. The trouble is, when you've got someone like Rigel behind you, you really need to be on a double-A game to be able to pull away from him. I'm not sure Gabsy will pull away from him. Clearly Darren King much faster there. A little bit of a tap to Rigel there. Coming into the Villeneuve chicane, looks like Darren is going to stay behind Rigel through the. But again, look how much speed he's carrying through there. So this he's in the Gulf. I think this is the Gulf, isn't it? Yeah. But right behind Darren, of course, is and we're just seeing now. Looks like Evil. Oh, come on! What was all that? That I wouldn't be too happy about that. Come on, Darren. I'd expect you to pull over now. Certainly let Evil take that place back. That looked almost intentional. I know it wasn't, but that's just the way things look sometimes. As you say, Speed. You know they're in Discord, so undoubtedly that was probably a tyre issue there. Hence the reason why Darren's now coming into pit. Good result for Madley currently, 34 minutes and 44 seconds in. Madley currently running in 5th position. Right behind him we've got Tempin in that white Alpha, and Madley's battle is with Evil. Evil in the blue winged Audi RS3 there. Not a lot of people have pitted yet. I expected more to pit by now, Speed. So, what are your thoughts about that?
I think people are just, going along. Obviously, there's a few battles going on, in the mid pack. But obviously, it's a long way to go. 45 minutes on a set of tyres. If you wear them out in the 15 minutes, a lot of wheel spinning, a bit of locking up. Maybe you're just gonna have to sacrifice. Make it a 30-30 split. I expect Rodders to go a bit longer. He's out front. He's not got any pressure, so he maybe push it. 25 minutes to go. Use the extra tyres at the end. Get the fastest lap, which he currently has anyway. So
yeah. These two are having a nice little battle. Madley and Tempin, riding with Tempin now. I've just been watching them for the past couple of laps on the timing board there. Tempin definitely quicker than Madley on some of these straights. I mean, they're very well matched, the Cupra and the Alpha, but it just seems that Tempin is just gaining, 1918. You can see it there. Coming and looking at the inside now, we can see that blue winged Audi of Evil as they go through the Erst corner and into Sterrenwack bend. Now, will he take a little look? Is this where Madley is going to lose it on this canal bend? As he moves over to the left to take Lucim Bianchi bend. No, all is well. No commentator curse tonight, which is fantastic. Down the straight to the Klein chicane. These are very well. And look at Tempin. He closing 2-4, 2-3, 2-2. Yeah, good little match here. Now, quick sit rep with regards to Gabsy and John Rigel up at the front there. So Gabsy is in 2nd place. His last lap was a 1:39.533 with a best lap of a 1:39.263 to Rodders' best lap of a 1:38.4, and more importantly, Rodders' last lap of a 1:38.8, which means that 20-second gap that was in existence of 1 lap ago is now 22.5 seconds. So it's unlikely that Gabsy will catch Rodders. Now, if we look at Rigel, who we're currently looking at the minute, his last lap was a 1:39.5, and of course Gabsy's was a 1:39.5. So I'm willing to bet that Gabsy is holding up Rigel by virtue of the fact that and racing fantastically and defensively, but I think Rigel could go faster.
yeah, I think so. I think Rigel obviously had that slight incident with Evil, which allowed Gabsy pass. And Gabsy's no easy person to pass, especially with being obviously they're in the same Audi, so it's the same setup. It's all down to is that little mistake going to come, or is he going to just manage to get alongside him into one of the corners?
Yep. As Gabsy pulls away slightly there from Rigel, Chief Track Master, by 1.1 seconds through the Gilles Villeneuve chicane and around Sacrament Schelling and up the hill over the bridge and down towards the Villeneuve chicane. Oh no, sorry, beg your pardon. Down towards Boulderberg bend. Evil currently running in 4th. You can see there in the distance, that is Rigel just going through the Boulderberg. Madley still holding off Tenpin. We can see Evil just in front of Madley there. Looking on the wing of Madley, that's where Tenpin is. Tenpin is glued. And look, 1-7, 1-6, 1-4, 1-2, 1-1. Surely he's going to take him on the Yaki X, but no, Madley uses this opportunity to go and into the pits, as there goes Madley.
Rodders is in the pits as well.
Rodders is in the pits as well, yes. That means that Rige, and also I believe so is Gabsy. Good call from Gabsy, I think. I think Gabsy knew that Rigel was faster, but out in front now is Rigel with a 9.8 second lead to Tenpin, having just lapped Flack in the GT4 in the Lotus. So Rigel is now, and I think Rodders has now just rejoined the track. Yes, there's Rodders. Rodders are now 22 seconds behind Rigel. What sort of time do you need to be able to go into the pits, change your tyres and get back out speed?
Possibly 45 to 50 seconds, I would say.
So unless Rigel's got a jet engine underneath that car, it's a fair assessment that even with 22 seconds in front of Rodders and going balls out for the next few laps, where Rodders is on, fresh tyres, he's going to regain his first position very clearly.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Obviously, it's just a quick 4 tyre change for the TCR cars, and there's no pit stop errors built into the game, so it's not like they've dropped a wheel nut. The tyre won't come off, the tyre won't go on type thing. So it's one of them that it's just obviously spice it up a bit. Obviously, you can make mistakes into the pit lane. Maybe go a bit too fast and get yourself a drive through. And yeah, but there's no way. I don't think there's no way Rigel's going to make up 20 seconds in a pit stop of Rodders.
No, I think you're right. Mark Bean's had a good race, hasn't he? He's currently 4th, but he hasn't pitted yet. And the group that he was messing around with earlier on, H-Tune, Darren King, Charger, Darren King has pitted, and so has Charger, I believe. Charger has pitted as well. So it's a fair assessment that Mark won't be in, Mr. Bean won't be in 4th position for very long. Interestingly, Gabsy, Tenpin, that's Tenpin. Gabsy now running in 4th position. In front of him are 2 positions that have not pitted yet. One of them being Mark Bean and the other being Rigel, John Haig. So actually it's a fair assessment that Gabsy will regain his 2nd position and because of the pit stops actually have a significant gap behind him.
Yeah, he obviously pitted when Rigel was right up his arse, so and maybe if he has a couple of quick laps, get 2 or 3 seconds on Rigel, or when Rigel pits, Rigel pits and he'll come out 2 or 3 seconds behind him, but he will have the slightly fresher tyres.
Yeah, Evil chasing Darren King. Evil currently running in 6th position. Evil's last lap was his best lap has been a 1:38.6. His last lap he pitted on. But both of these guys, Darren King and Evil, have both pitted. They've both got fresh tyres. Rigel, I believe, is just coming into the pits. There's Rigel. So that means Rodders coming around and crossing the start line along the main straight towards the Erst corner as he now regains 1st position. Surely, yeah, there we go. Rodders just done a 1:38.447, which is 5/10 away from his fastest lap. So he is still going balls out there and has picked up the pace.
Yeah, obviously use them fresh tyres for a couple of quick laps now. Obviously a lower fuel load than the start of the race.
Yep. And as you said, Gabsy pitted when he was just in front of Rigel, and guess what? You know, we said that there'd be a significant gap there. Well, that was not including Rigel. That was a commentator error. But the point is that, look, 1.3 seconds Gabsy has got on Rigel at the minute. This allows Rigel to close up. So we'll watch these times very closely, because both these guys have pitted. Both these guys are on fresh tyres. 24 minutes and 50 seconds left of the race. Let's see whether Rigel closes up with Gabsy. We'll keep a very close eye on the times of these guys and come back to them with anything significant. But right now I want to look at this man, Evil, because Evil is chasing down Darren King, 0.5 of a second away from him. And again, both of these guys have pitted. Evil has had a sort of I'm not going to say a yo-yo night, because his yo-yo has still been in the top quadrant, hasn't it, Speed? You know, he was second, then down to fifth, had that off with Rigel, allowed the guys to pass, which is outstanding racecraft in my view. Fair play, Evil, and I'm sure that something would have been said in the race channel on that anyway. But I think Evil is faster than Darren King, so I'm interested to see whether at what point Evil will get past Darren King. 6.5, 6.4 points. Oh no, but there we go. Look, he's pulling away. Commentators curse in reverse tonight. Whatever I say is wrong. Okay, so we'll keep a close eye on these timings as well. Another battle here with Tenpin and Dave Crew. We haven't seen much of Dave Crew tonight. He's run a safe race, I think. 6.9, 6.3, 6.2, 5.6, 0.51, 0.46. Much quicker than Darren King down into the Klein chicane, Villeneuve chicane, sorry, Klein chicane. And this is the closest match out there at the minute, notwithstanding Tenpin and Dave Crew. So as they go through the Villeneuve chicane, very clearly Evil is sticking to him like he's made out of araldite. Now, will he go for the pass down to the Boulderberg, do you think? No. But very much clearly faster into Jochen Rindt, and they're a bit of a straight now. Perhaps he might be able to. He's only 0.19, 0.18. You know, he's fairly close. Will he look at going on the inside? Oh, yes, and he does. Bit of a dive, but it was either that or hit him, and ultimately allowed him to take, to keep his position. So perfectly fine there. Evil, full of intent tonight, isn't he?
Yes, sorry about that. My PC decided to crash.
Don't worry about it. I was on a monologue. I do apologise. The commentary team is dialogue, not monologue, but just as well to cover your PC crash, Speed. Anyway, so just as a quick sit rep for you, Rodders out in first position has got a 19-second gap to Gabsy, who is 1.9 seconds in front of Rigel, the chief trackmaster. 5.5 seconds behind him, this man that we're looking at there, Darren King, our guest tonight, and great to see him back racing with RWB. Riding with Evil, 0.23, 2.1, 1.9, 1.7 into the Villeneuve chicane. Evil's looked at Darren King a couple of times tonight, Speed, over the past 3 laps. And it always seems to be down towards the Boulderberg as we're just going up the hill here. But as we go down into the Boulderberg, it looks like this seems to where he favours taking a look, just standing a bit off this time. Round Boulderberg through Jochen Rindt, but perhaps they're very evenly matched. It just seems to be quite a bit of a gap. Just seems to be no gap growing between the pair of them.
Yeah, it looks like Abel's put a lot of pressure on Darren in this last 20 odd minutes left.
Yeah, and sometimes we mustn't forget that is that there's not just trying to pass, but just being in someone's wing mirror is a great deal of pressure that you can bring to bear as a result of that. Oh, and Darren King goes wide there around the canal corner. That is allowing Evil on the inside, coming up out of canal corner, up to Lucian Bianchi. It looks like Evil has taken that position. Well done, Evil. Riding with Darren King there, who's now 0.3 seconds behind, just goes wide into the Klein chicane. But you can see Evil's moved over to the right-hand side just to say, this is going to be my point. If you want it, you're going to have to go around the outside, and good luck in Villeneuve chicane. That's not going to work. So I'd like to think that Evil will be able to hold that position there. 19 minutes 35 left, but who knows? We'll keep a close eye on the time, but currently he's now pulling away from Darren King, 0.78, 0.80, so 0.75. So yeah. Now, quick sit rep for you out there. Our timing board is going nuts here. It's going nuts not because of the activity out there, but because I think it's probably crashed. That said, we can still take positions of the cameras and see where everyone is. So let's have a quick rundown. Rodders out in front in the Alpha, just done a 138.2. Behind him, 21 seconds, this man, Gabsy, in the Audi RS3. Behind Gabsy, now only 1.8 seconds, Rigel. So, earlier on we were saying, we felt he was holding Rigel up. Well, clearly not now that they've both on new tyres, otherwise Rigel would be a lot closer than 1.8 seconds. But, never ever say never with Rigel, because if I know one thing, then he would just see that gap as a chance for him to breathe. But very well done to Gabsy. Can you not agree, Speed? Keep going, old boy. Great to see you second if that D comes off. Has your PC crashed again, Speed?
Nope.
Some say that Speed is still on an AMD Duron processor running at 800 megahertz, and he'll still beat you. Riding with Mandy then, and these two have had a great battle pretty much for the past 9 laps. Oh, what a time to go over as Tenpin just pops in front of Madley, going through the Yock and Rint. Madley will want my head on a fucking chopping block as a result of flicking to him then. He's already warned me, do not mention me on any of your streams because something bad will happen. Well, there it is. Very sorry, my druid friend, but you lost that position there, which is such a shame. But, riding with you now, and you're 2 seconds behind Tenpin, I'm sure with the remaining time of 17 minutes and 2 seconds. You've got plenty of time there. Keep it on the grey stuff and close back up and carry on your race. Dave Crew, bit of breathing space, because behind him is Audi, and in front of him is Madley, and he's got 5 seconds to Madley. Riding with Audi, I did say, stay on the grey stuff and you'll finish around about 11th. Well, look, that was rubbish because he's 9th and currently leading in the GT4, so excellent for Audi. "20 seconds behind Audi is Mark Bean. So Audi has got some great breathing space there. And if we're riding with Audi, we can see the car in the distance there is Dave Crew. So Dave Crew just going through now the Klein chicane, so as it was then, we just went through it. And it looks like he's allowing Audi to pass, different class, no race team, as Audi passes, I think that was Charger, wasn't it?
No, I don't think so.
No.
It'll be an FX.
It was. Yeah, they're now starting to lap. I'm afraid our race director doesn't allow us to see who's being lapped. But what we do see is Charger in that in the RS there, and behind Charger is that man there. And that man there is
Hope.
It's not FX, is it?
Yeah,
Yes, it is. It's FX currently running second in the GT4 class, with Audi in ninth position, first in the GT4 class. Okay, back up to these two, because Rigel, that chicane there has slowed him down significantly, because I know that, having a quick look at the time board, that the gap had closed significantly. So clearly just before we flicked there was a bit of a problem there. But Gabsy, you know, fair play to Gabsy, you know, we can't take it away from him. Although we've said, oh, you're under a great deal of pressure, Rigel's behind you, etc. Gabsy's no fool, and he's no slow coach out there, is he?
No, he's definitely holding his own lately. So, obviously, Rigel's a direct competitor now, whereas Rigel would have been, someone that Gabsy would have strived to, beat. Now he's got the same pace as him and he's beating him at the minute.
Yeah.
So it's one of them that he's stepped his game up, and obviously people around him need to step the game up if they want to compete with him.
Absolutely. Yeah, well said. So Gabsy, well done, old friend. Keep going. Stay on the grey stuff. 14 minutes and 1 second left of the race. Now, speed. They've all got some space between them. We'll keep a close eye on the. We'll pop it onto Auto Director. We'll pop the track map up so people can see who's doing what. Although all you're going to see there is the positions. So we, if you find P1, where's P1? P1, Rodders, where are you, Rodders? Yeah, P1. So if we look at Rodders now on the dashboard with Rodders, oh, and there it is. Rodders, keep it together, old boy. You got 18 seconds. Gabsy is coming. Gabsy is now 15 seconds, but Gabsy's come across a back marker there. I think that's Flack in front of Gabsy. I'd like to think that Flack, you would have undoubtedly be having a blue flag by now. Let the man pass as soon as you can. Although, Rodders has already now pulled out an extra second on Gabsy, although he had that off moment there. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely commentators because, as you said, Rodders' name, he ended up in the wall.
Yeah, and Rigel going wide there at Jochen Rindt, just coming into Jochen Rindt, but fair play to Flack for moving over and letting him pass. Well, of course, he should be doing that as well. Looking at him for Rigel, who is closing, but Rigel is now 3.2 seconds, 3.4 seconds behind Gabsy. So Gabsy is pulling away now, but not quick enough to slow the gap between he and Rodders. Saying that though, Rodders, only has to have another off or so. I'm willing to bet 12 minutes left that his tyres are going off. But who are we kidding? This guy's a track master. He's exceptionally quick, very well talented, and he will hold it together for the rest of the race. I guarantee that. Tempin having his little battle earlier on with Madley. And has made it past Darren King, now taking a little pop at Evil, which is fair play to Tempin on the back with Evil there. We can see Tempin is really applying the pressure. So Evil up to 4th position. Seems that could well be compromised by Tempin. He wants to be in the top quadrants, no question about that. Oh, and fuck me, there we go. It was bound to fucking happen, wasn't it? So here's Madley. Madley now in 6th position. Undoubtedly he will want to climb up to 5th position, and is currently looking at Darren King out into the old onto the boards there, and coming down now to Villeneuve, I believe. Yeah, into Villeneuve. No, beg your pardon. Boulderberg, and into Jochen Rindt. I think they're safe from commentators' code.
I don't know. I don't think anyone's safe. You're commentating.
On the wing with Gabsy, what does 4 seconds look like? That is what 4 seconds look like. Not the first car, but the second car. That is what 4 seconds. That second car is Rigel. So fair play to Gabsy. He's pulled away from Rigel. and as a result of keeping it on the grey stuff. It's the same car as Rigel. They pitted 1 lap apart from each other. So I'm willing to bet now that Gabsy is faster than Rigel around this track. There you go, I said it.
You're braver man than me.
Well, you know what? I'm looking at their split timings now. Gabsy, 30.3 to Rigel's 30.2. Sector 2, 103.7 to Rigel's 103.9. And their best lap, Gabsy, 139.1 to Rigel's 139.1. So they are very well matched out there, and you only have to have one slight off, or just just hit the grass a little bit, and that's going to affect you a great deal. These two are so well matched in these cars that I think that Gabsy has had a little bit more of a tidier race, and because they're so well matched, that has enabled him to pull away rather than sheer speed alone.
Yeah, it's kind of been a rough race for Rigel. In that instant with Evil, and obviously went a bit of grass bracket later on. And I think it's been a nice steady race for Gabsy. Tonight.
Yeah, it has, absolutely has, and I'm really, really pleased for him, because I know that he'll be really pleased with that position. There's no question about that. And look, let's not bring the curse down yet. There's 8 minutes left to go. We know that these touring cars are hard on the tyres, and we know that in the last 5 minutes they will be down to low percentages. So let's not count our chickens just yet, Gabsy, old boy. Keep going, stay on the grey stuff.
Yeah, I still think you've got a few more ambulances in you.
Yeah, there will be some. Madly looking at the arse of Darren King. Madly wanting his 5th position back. We'll keep a close eye on that. The rest of the field is very well spread out again. Dave Crew currently in 7th. There goes Dave, well done. And Audi leading the GT4 class, just going through the Klein chicane and up the hill there. A superior performance from Audi in the GT4. The second one in the GT4 is FX, who's some 35 seconds behind Audi, which is significant. You can see that, where he is there. I mean, that's not even coming into the Klein chicane yet, and Audi's well past that. Mark Bean currently running in 9th, and he's got some space either side of him. Charger, who had a great battle earlier on with that group of 4 and 5 cars, and on the wing of Charger we can see on the wing of, oh my god, what's happened to Charger? Oh no, he's still there. On the Charger's ring. In Charger's ring, just outside of Charger's ring there, we can see Jammer. Both of these guys are in the same car, the Audi. Jammer in the yellow, and in that very gay, gay, light cyan, blue and white RS3. H-Tune, riding with H-Tune, and he's looking forward to Jammer. H-Tune has got a bit of time behind him. Just coming over the hill there. Not sure who that is. It could be Flack, actually. Yeah, it could be Flack. Flack currently running in 3rd position. Well, there's only 3 GT4s out there tonight into Boulderberg. Keep it nice and tidy, Flack. There we go, well done. Enrico, our guest in the Audi RS3 there, same colours as Gabsy's running. Currently running 15th. He's just done a 143.2. In comparison to Rodder's 138.8. So that's the sort of time frame between front and the rear sort of quadrants. Quick back to these two, because this group of 3 have all closed up. As I say that, Madley's lost some time there, but Darren King is now looking at Evil, 0.38, 37, 36, 35, so he's clearly fast looking at Erst, but I think Evil's just a little bit, just got a little bit more speed on the exit, which has enabled him to keep that position. Through Sterrenwacht into Canal. Still going to take a look at him though, isn't he?
Yeah, Elkins is not going to give up on this. He's obviously going to fight for a position as show his evil. He's always badly, so he could get quite spicy in the last 2 or 3 laps. But with it going down to the last 5 minutes, I think my vote for the race of the meeting goes to. I'm gonna go. I don't know.
Neither do I. Darren King looking at Evil, and I just see him flash his lights. We don't do that. We don't flash lights. There's no need to flash lights. You're not lapping him, so turn your lights off or don't flash them, one or the other. He's in the same channel as you. He's not going to pull over. It's down to you to get past him. So we don't do that here. We don't flash lights. There's no need for it. Take that as a commentator's slap. I don't know either, mate. Because actually part of me is saying Gabsy for being in second and holding away that man there, Rigel. But Rigel has closed up 1.64, 1.63, 1.62, so he's clearly faster and gaining on Gabsy. In the last stretches of the race, it'll be interesting to see whether he closes it up even more. I am tempted to say Evil. I'm also tempted, ironically, despite flashing lights, to say Darren. And I'm also tempted to say Madley. I really don't know. I haven't looked at YouTube. I don't know whether we've got anyone in there. What do they think?
I don't know. I'm the same as you. I'm torn between Evil and a few other people. But obviously, give us your thoughts in chats, guys, and we'll put it to a commentators vote, and we'll drag them down as well as it'll currently be Rodders, Gabsy, and Audi and FX for the top 2 from each class.
Yeah. Rigel really has closed up now on Gabsy. Now 1.26 seconds. Come on, Gabsy, old boy, keep it going. But be careful because Rigel will take it right to the wire. Looking at Darren King, really now chasing Evil. I know they had a bit of a battle earlier on, and of course Darren King has had a battle with a few people tonight, and has raced absolutely wonderfully. So I'm willing to bet that there'll be, he will take it to the wire too. 2 minutes and 31 seconds left. 2 minutes and 26 seconds left. Darren is quicker than Evil along that straight there. The tyres are shot to shit now, surely.
Yeah, I think they're getting the last little bit out of the tyres now. He'll be pushing to the max. Has Charger gone into the wall?
I think
his PC crashed?
I think
his game's crashed.
Oh,
his game crashed. Look
no.
at the tyre. Look at the tyre marks. He just goes straight off. He doesn't even attempt to turn. So I think he's crashed again.
I'm willing to bet now he's sitting in his Vasaro rig going, fuck! I would be, that's for absolute sure. So Rodders out in first position there, now lapped. I think that was Cos. Yeah, just taking Cos. So Rodders, a supreme and masterful performance this evening. 1 minute 30 left, 23 seconds behind him. This man, Gabsy, an awesome race this evening. But it's not over yet. It's not over until the fat lady sings, and ultimately, he's got Rigel, the chief track master, behind him. Same car, pitted around about the same time. Tyres now are probably, depending on their driving style, very much, probably about the same wear. Gabsy is a bit of a throw-in man. He'll throw it in. He doesn't mind when a car going sideways. He's a great rally mate of mine. But Rigel is much more clinical. Gabsy is a baseball bat. Rigel is a scalpel. So in these last throws of the race, 0.9 second now. So this is the first time of the past 3 laps that Rigel has got down to less than a second. We will keep a close eye on these two in these last 30 seconds of the race. Evil in 4th position with that man there, Darren King in 5th position. The rest of the guys are spread out. Now, let's stay with these two for the last bit of the race, because this is the closest that there is, and it would be a crying shame for Gabsy to lose that position. But you know what, crikey, the pressure is going to be placed on. Bit of late braking by Rigel into this corner.
It's the last lap as well, so obviously when Rodders crosses the line, the checker flag will be out. So he's not got that many opportunities to put into the Villeneuve chicane. At the minute, he's probably only got one or two more opportunities to get past Gabsy.
And then that's it. Gabsy will secure second place, which is absolutely fantastic news for him. Really good. Quick TV camera flick onto these two. 0.19 second at one point. So, you know, Darren is really taking it to the wire with Evil all the way down through Villeneuve there, and up the hill, down the hill and towards Boulderberg. But as we see, Rodders crossing first position, very well done. We're now with Gabsy coming through the final corner. The Jackie X up the hill, over the line in second position. Not just yet, it's not over yet. Come on. Second position, very well done. Rigel in third position. Evil holding Darren King behind him, coming around the last corner. Darren still looking at him. Evil crossing the line in fourth position. Yes, well done. And Darren King in fifth. Good, fantastic racing from Darren there. Madley in sixth position. Dave Crew crossing in seventh. Audi now coming around the last corner and crossing the line, winning the GT4 class. Masterful performance, our Norwegian buddy. Well done. Brilliant. Behind him, Mark Bean in the Cupra in ninth overall. FX coming now down towards the Boulderberg, will take second place in the multi-class GT4. He's had a great race, hasn't he? I know there's only three, but look where he is, smack bang in the middle. You know, if you could ever want to find someone who was consistent and clean, it will be FX, won't it?
Yeah, I think FX is not going to like it, but he's going to have to chat to us at the end because he finished second in the GT4s. So unless he pulls over and lets Flack come past him, I think Flack's already finished.
Jammer, it's not over yet. Oh, well, perhaps it is. Well, it's not actually. But Jammer finishing 11th, H-Tune in 12th, Flack 9 in 13th, 14th was our guest Enrico. Well, you're called Enrico now. And Cos taking 15th and the last of the runners, with Charger in 16th, 17th is Tempin, 18th is Pinpoint, 19th Rick Binnersley, and 10th Fergie. Well, what a race and a conclusion of the World Touring Cars and GT4 League. That was the last race of this league. Wonderful stuff.
So
yeah,
obviously I'm going to be dragging Rodders and Gabsy down, as well as Audi and FX. So who's going to be the racer we drag down?
Let's pull down Darren. I think Darren
Okay.
had a good race, and I think he's a guest, and I think he really brought it home. And I'd like to speak to him about his opinion with the battles that he had with the guys out there, which was really good, I thought.
Yeah,
great,
so
wonderful.
They're all here now, so
Brilliant.
we can go.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Welcome everybody. Fantastic race. We're now into the post-race interviews. Just a quick reminder of us. Round 1 was at Zandvoort. Round 2, Imola. 3 at Silverstone. Then we finished the concluding race in Zolder. Now, notwithstanding the fact that Lorenzo was just masterful in the first 3 races there. Clearly, Rodders, you had a fantastic race this time round. It was a bit lonely for you out there at the front, was it?
Yeah, I must admit I was gutted Lorenzo never made it. Because the first race, I'll be honest, I would rather have been second to him in the first race like I was than first in that race. But, you know, I'm super happy to win, but you know what I mean? The first race was just one of the most exciting ones I've had in a while. So I was gutted that Lorenzo didn't make it. But yeah, just get the head down. Docking was quick. I just couldn't nail my Collie lap, but I managed to get a reasonable one at the end, and I just seemed to have a bit more pace on the race. Not sure why, and I just kept a steady pace and pulled away. Had one big mistake the second chicane, but I think everyone did at some point, and I managed not to damage the car and had enough of a lead just to I just cruised a bit after that, not trying not to make mistakes trying not to swear on the. How do you say this without saying the C word? On the tricky chicanes.
Well, you know what? You say you only had one mistake. Now, ironically, that was just as I flicked onto you and said, "Oh, there we go." So,
Oh no!
I'm afraid our
Oh, no.
commentator cursed you there. But look, it was a masterful performance. Really, really good.
Cheers.
You know, I would love to have seen, as you, a rerun of the first battle, because that was so close with Lorenzo. We would have seen much more of you, but it was a runaway performance, and not taking anything away from you. It was a win, and very many congratulations to you.
Cheers. I'll just say lastly, and I'm sure everyone will say this: the front wheel drive and that second chicane were a nightmare, because you would normally be accelerating in hard, and then as soon as you get to just past the corner, you hit the brakes. But the front wheel drive, you can't do that because the rear's unstable. So
Yeah.
you've got to do this really weird, take a split second to stabilise the car. If you don't get it right, it pulls it left, hits the grass, and that's what you saw happen to me.
Yes.
It was just like it was like threading a needle every single lap.
Yeah. Well, very well done. Speed. Have you got anything for Rodders, and we move on?
I take it you did a lot of race practice rather than quality practice, because you was pretty close to what your qualifying was time in the race.
I did a wee bit at the start of the week, but I've just been so busy today. I've actually been car hunting all day, funnily enough, front wheel drive high performance cars. So that kind of set me up well for tonight. So I got half an hour before it, and then, as I said, I couldn't see me nail it in quali, but the car with the fuel in it just felt more stable, and I was just really happy as soon as I was in the car at race fuel. It just felt great. So just stroke of luck, I think.
Great. Well, very well done, Rodders. Brilliant. And okay, now on to our second place position for the touring cars. Now, two questions I've got for you, Gabsy. Number one, what do you think of an Audi RS3 Quattro with only two-wheel drive? Is that not blasphemy? And secondly, what a fantastic race you had, and how did it go from your view?
Yeah, it went all right. I was looking forward to it, to be honest. I've been looking forward to it all week. Probably my favourite track. I seem to be doing quite well in the front wheel drive as well. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, you had a great race, and we were watching quite closely, intently actually, the time differentials over what was 7 laps with Rigel after pitting, and it went from 1.5 seconds all the way down to 4 seconds. And we'd actually commentated beforehand that we felt that you were holding Rigel up, but actually it transpired that only with 1 lap between you after changing tyres, that very clearly was not the case. Although towards the end of the race, Rigel had gone from 4 seconds down to what was 0.8 of a second. So had your tyres started to go off?
Yes, and as Rod has said as well, I was nearly every lap I was getting a cut on that chicane. And I've heard that you can get disqualified if you get too much of them. I don't know if that's true or not, but I didn't want to risk it. So I was slowing down. The first chicane, I was gaining over half a second on Rigel each lap, but then he was gaining it back on further corners. So it was a bit tit for tat.
Well, I think you had a really great race, and I hope you don't mind a comment that Speed made before I hand you over to him was that not so long ago, actually, Rigel was someone, the chief track master, as I've called him. I said that Gabs is a bit of a baseball bat, whereas Rigel is a bit of a scalpel. Once upon a time, you would have aspired to, actually, be able to beat him or race alongside him.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and now, you're in a position where you commanded a performance around there and came second. So very many congratulations to you. Over to you, Speed.
Yeah, just want to get your thoughts on them last couple of laps as Rigel was closing in on you. Was your ass puckering a bit?
To be honest, I told myself, right, I'm going to have a couple of deep breaths and I'm not going to look in my mirror. And what did I do? Look at the mirror and I shit myself. But I managed to keep it together and finished second. in front of him for a change.
Yeah,
That's
really, really good. Fantastic performance, Gabsy, and I'm really, really pleased for you. A little bit of practice, more practice required on Dirt Rally 2, but we'll talk about that afterwards. Okay, you're dropping your standards there. Over to Audi now. Audi, can't take it away from you. You won the GT4 class. You had a bit of a problem in the first part of the race. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, well, I had a really good start, but a couple of laps in, well, a couple of minutes before the pit opened, I had a spin and got aero damage. So I was just nursing it around a few laps until the pit opened. So it was an early pit for me. I lost a bit of time there. But after that, it was just all hands on the deck and just try to gain as much time as possible. And I felt I had good pace throughout the race. I was almost up there with the TCRs on the top. I think I had the best lap of 1:39. So quite happy with my performance.
Yeah, good. And you won the GT4 class, and quite rightly so. You should be as well. Were you slightly disappointed there was only 3 GT4 runners tonight, or were you expecting more for around Zolder?
Well, I wasn't expecting more, but I was hoping for more. But but that said, if the start hadn't been, if we hadn't been starting at the back, I think I would have been at least a few places further up the finish on the finish line. So, but that's how it is.
Well, look, at the end of the day, you won the GT4s, and that's that for the class is all that matters. And we'd love to watching your race as we always do. Speed, over to you for.
Yeah, we said at the start that you had a really impressive first couple of laps. I think you made up 10-8 spots within the first 15 minutes before. How did you come about doing that? Because obviously we didn't catch it as we was watching other battles.
Yeah, I just went for every little space I could find, and I probably rubbed some paint off a couple of cars too on the start-finish line when the lights went out. So I think I'd gained at least 8 places just before the first corner. The GT4s are very quick off the line compared to the TCR, so we have a little edge there over the TCRs. And Zolder isn't favoring the TCRs that much compared to maybe Zandvoort, where they were a lot quicker. I think mostly because the unevenness of the Zolder track makes the TCRs very skittish.
Yeah.
I was just looking at your lap time and the sim results. Actually, you're 1:39 dead, which is right in amongst a lot of the other TCRs. So yeah.
Yeah. So had he not had that bit of a spin and a bit of aero, I think you had a bit of aero damage, didn't you? Before you came into the pits, actually, we would have seen you a bit higher up the chain. But a class win is a class win. We can't take that away from you. Absolutely, a great performance.
Anyway, I don't think I would have been a place higher. I would have maybe been a bit closer to the next one, but I didn't lose that much.
Well done, Audi, and as ever,
Thanks.
always good to talk to you, old friend. And to our second place, and I know he doesn't like talking, so we'll keep it short and sweet for our Gandalf, our wizard, our Harry Potter of the tech world. FX, second position. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, I had a really good race tonight, actually. Quite a lot of good battles with Charger. The odd one with sort of Beans and 10-pin. I kind of felt, I was getting a bit slowed down with all the TCRs in front of me. There was a rolling roadblock going on for a while. So I decided to pit early, try and get a bit of space so I can, pull away. But yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with it, really.
Speed?
Yeah, we saw that you had a great battle. I think we did mention in commentary, I think you were getting held up by the TCR car. So overall, you did a good race tonight.
Yeah, I was well impressed with myself.
Yeah, and finishing 10 out of 20 just epitomised the fact that you are very clean, very conscientious. you're above averagely quick, and the results speak all of that basically. So very well done to you. Glad you enjoyed it, and it was a pleasure to watch you as always.
Well, I did turn my aggression slider up a notch as well tonight.
Okay, great. And on to our racer of the event, our racer of the evening, which was to Darren King, also a guest and an old friend of RWB. I don't think we've met before, Darren, but this is the perfect time to do it. And I can assure you, it was a bit difficult tonight as to who to pull in as our racer of the event. And normally it's pretty clear cut, but tonight there were so many great racers out there that for me and Speed, you just pipped it. And you pipped it because you had a couple of really, really good battles. I think you had a really good battle with Madley, and you had a good battle with Evil. So which was your favourite battle that you had there with them?
Oh, it's got to be, I think, with Evil, towards the end there. He was he was defending very well, he's not making it easily for sure.
Yeah,
it was all clean stuff, Good.
Yeah, excellent. And yeah, you're absolutely right. And we saw he was defending hard actually. And of course, Evil earlier on in the race had a very similar battle with Rigel. And it just seemed that as they were coming into the Villeneuve chicane, that seemed to be Evil's favourite place to sort of attack, or in your case, with him defend. So yeah, Speed. Anything for Darren?
You're all right, Mug.
Like you racing, sitting up there in the commentary box.
So I've got too slow. I can't keep up with these fast people now. So yeah, I'm staying up here.
You keep telling yourself that. We all know. We all know the truth.
Shh. Shh.
They're quiet.
No, look, it's great to see you back, and hopefully we'll see you in some more races with us, Darren. So very well done. Great battles out there tonight. Pleasure to watch you. Okay, well look, there we go then. That was the conclusion of race 4 of the World Touring Cars, the Touring Cars and the GT4 class. We were at Zandvoort week 1, Imola week 2, Silverstone week 3, and Zolder week 4. Before we sign off, I'm going to hand you over to Rodders, because I'd like Rodders to take stage for 30 seconds or so and talk to you, RWB members, and any other our guests who have signed up for the X17 League. Perhaps you'd like to take this time, Rodders, to talk about that.
Yeah, you actually read my mind. I was thinking of interjecting. But yeah, next week, this league's over. We're starting something we've not been able to do before, because it is hard to get enough drivers that are into high-end Formula cars. But we start the FRX 17, we're just calling it the F1 League, next week. It's following as far as we can the F1 calendar with genuine tracks where they're in the game. It's full-length F1 races, 12 leagues long with 8 official tracks and 4 race room tracks added in that were handpicked for the car. Opens at Red Bull, like the real F1, which unfortunately turns out to be probably the hardest track for the F1 for the F17s to drive. But we've got a big practice race on Wednesday. Everyone's practicing hard. It's going to be tough. I think it will take us a few races to settle into just the velocity of these things and how to drive in a pack. So, but we're doing all we can to make that first race a good one. I think it's going to be tough, but it's going to be exciting. So it starts next week. If you're into F1, you like high-end Formula, and you've been looking for a league, you can still sign up. There's 24 in, another 8 places, and we'd really love to see. The goal is to try and get 20 drivers on track each week. We always miss a few, but if we can get a few more drivers, that should hopefully give us a better chance of managing that. And I think it will be a pretty exciting league. Looking forward to it.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So next Saturday then, X17 League. Practice on Wednesday. Come along. You've heard it from the guy that's sponsoring the event. There's plenty of spaces. If you want to find more about it, then message Rodders on our Discord, or come onto our Discord channel and have a look in the actual X17 League information. And but feel free, if you're not RWB member, feel free to tab anybody with an RWB tag, and they'll point you in the right direction. I assure you of that. So, well, we'll be seeing you next week. Now, I'm going to be on a bit of a high next week, Speed.
What?
Speed.
Next Saturday.
Yeah, not because I'll be taking any form of illegal drugs, but because I'm going to Donington Park to watch the classic cars race, the Capris and the Mark 1 Escorts, which you wouldn't remember, but I certainly do. And I come back home in the evening and I've got this. Crikey, what a weekend. If I get laid, that's it. It's a whole weekend done, isn't it? So look forward to next weekend, as we all will at RWB in the X17 League, and of course I will be and my indomitable friend Speed. So it just takes this opportunity now for me to close the stream down. He's been Speed.
He's been Tiger.
Just love that corny, cheesy bit we do at the end. You know what? We don't really care. It's because we like it. Don't forget now, we're RWB, not BBC. Don't race alone. Race RWB. Until next time, take care.